Everyone, welcome to the tight end room. This is going to be where I kind of do shorter form video analysis of things that pique my interest across the football landscape regarding the position. This time, we will be talking about Tyler Warren's performance in the first round of the college football playoff. Now, you look at the stat line and it's not much 3 catches, about 30 yards, but Tyler Warren was arguably the most important player on the Penn State offense in that game. We can take a look at all of the ways that they used him in the run game, leaned on him in the run game, and centered a bunch of different schemes around his ability to handle business in line. So I want to start with a couple of examples of counter, particularly counter tray, which is run to the tight end side. So basically, you're going to see you can run counter. Obviously, there's 2 tight ends here, which makes it a little complicated, but you can run counter to or away from the tight end in a typical 1 tight end set, or in 2 tight ends on either side like this, you got to run it to one of the tight end sides. So regardless, one of the tight ends is going to have to seal that front side edge. So basically the idea is obviously that you are going to get your 2 pullers. You're going to get your 2 pullers. And you know that's counter, right? That's basically the long and short of it. So what has to happen on the front side is that you need a seal, because you can't have these guys getting out and pushing through the edge and getting into the pullers, right? Because if you have this puller go here and this guy can either knife inside and disrupt the flow of the pullers, or get outside and just kind of muck it all up and spill it back inside for the linebackers, the run can't happen. So basically, like, you need that edge front side to be sealed. So what Warren is going to have to do, depending on the alignment of this guy, if this guy is more aligned in here on the outside of the tackle, he will double with the tackle before the tackle climbs to this level, or excuse me, before Warren climbs to the second level. But since he's on the inside of Warren, and the tackle here, as you can see, is completely uncovered, Warren's going to have to take this by himself. So he's going to have to close this front side edge. So it's not so simple, though, as just letting him go inside, because if he does that, he's going to disrupt the pull, and he's going to blow up the play. So what Warren is going to have to be able to do here, and we'll see this, is that he's going to have to be able to stop his path inside and displace him to create a path for the pullers, right? So you can see that 71 is going to need a clear path to get around to the perimeter, so he's going to have to seal that off. So you can see with his first step, he does a good job taking the first step and getting square here. The scrubber's moving a little fast, but you can see that when he gets to the point of contact, he's fully square, his base is wide and under him, his hands are placed right under the arms, and he's able to drive. So you can see he's got good pad level, he's able to drive him up and back, which creates an edge for the pullers, which allows this to spill to the perimeter cleanly and pick up a big gain. So we're going to see in the red zone a little bit later the same play, but with a little bit cleaner of a path for the running back, and you'll see why in a second. So we'll see the play from the regular end zone, and as you can see, Tyler Warren blows this guy the fuck off the ball. He is way out of the play. And so what he is going to have to do, what Six is going to have to do, is he's going to have to fit this inside of Warren the same way he did on the last play, right? So his gap's in here. He's got to control Warren, because obviously they are playing a light box here, right? There's really only, obviously the safeties are here, but there's functionally only 6 guys in the box. So he's going to have to control this space, and this is his primary gap inside. So Warren is going to have to do the same thing that he did on the last one, right? He's going to have to seal this edge and also not let him inside. The best way to do that is to escort him out of the stadium, which will work. Obviously, he didn't like it very much. I wouldn't like getting blocked out of the end zone either. But as you can see, Warren's ability to displace him off the front side. We'll get back to a clean view here. Creates a clear seal on the edge, which allows a clear path for the pullers and a clear path for the back to follow the pullers. He's going to take him. He's going to take him. It's all very clean. And that's all because of the work Warren does to collapse and seal the front side edge. And obviously, he's got a little bit of that nastiness to him that you want in a blocker. So now we're going to get to duo, which obviously is the tight end blocking play, as I've kind of outlined before, and as many other people have outlined as well. You could see here, he's one-on-one with the edge again. He has to turn him out. He can't let him collapse this, right? We'll watch the play and then get to the end zone in a second. Fast forward a little bit, and then you could see here, right? So they're in two tight end. And a lot of times with duo, the outside tight end is going to have the harder assignment, just because teams want to keep their edges, in a lot of cases, not all cases, but in a lot of cases, want to keep their edges somewhat close to the edge of the formation instead of fully reducing him like inside here. So Warren here is going to have to take that edge. The tough thing is that the edge is on the inside here, right? He's on the outside shoulder of 16. He's inside leverage. So Warren has to keep him out of this gap. He has to keep him from penetrating out of this gap. So what he has to do is he has to get a gap over. Well, not really a gap over, but he has to get across his face and stop him. But it's not like outside zone where all he would have to do is get across his face, get in the way, and cut him off a little bit. He has to get across his face and stonewall him. He's got to stop him. He's got to stop him in his tracks, and he's got to hold that block. Because the running back's path is either going to go up here, it's going to bounce, or he can work back here late. Regardless, even if he's not bouncing, like, he's taken enough time that if this guy's penetrating, he's going to be able to blow this up, even if he doesn't bounce. Now, the front side stuff here prevents him from bouncing, and the fact that all these second level guys are all bumped over and clearing out this lane gives him a field of vision to see that, which is a nice job by him, but he's not going to be able to get there if Warren doesn't seal this off, and he's certainly not going to be able to bounce front side if he had gotten the look, if Warren isn't able to seal this block. So we're going to see exactly what he's able to do. He gets across the face. He gets inside position. He turns him out, right? So what he's going to do is he's going to get square enough. He's going to get his shoulder inside the chest enough that he can effectively get in the way. So now he's in the way. He can't go through him. He can't just knife inside, and he has enough of his body here, as you can see, on the defender's body that he can start to drive. And you can see him with the movement of his feet, with the anchor of his lower body. You see, look at this. Very stable base, bent knee, legs behind him. You can see his hips are behind him, which means his weight is behind him, which means he can anchor. And he's not able to move him, but you're not really going to expect him to get across the face and then drive him out of the gap, because he just doesn't have the positioning to do that. He just needs to anchor, which he does, and is able to protect that perimeter. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a flashy game, but it was certainly an impactful one. You really have to kind of look at the run game production and the way Penn State was able to kind of salt this thing away in the second half to see Warren's impact. But it's there. It's there, and they really couldn't control possession the way they did in the second half without Warren. Obviously, they probably would have won the game anyway because of how things went on the other side of the ball. But this is the impact that players like Tyler Warren have when they don't have the ball. And that's, for a player like him, is a good 30-40% of your game is not running routes, maybe even more. So there's this entire pool of hidden impact and hidden value that you got to look at these kind of things to see. But Warren was, once again, as always, the best player on Penn State's offense in the first round of the college football playoff. And if they're going to get anywhere, it's going to be behind him, whether they are running the ball, whether they are throwing him the ball, whether he's eating doubles in the passing game and opening things up. It's going to go through him, as it always has.